Welcome to the Common Briefing Program.
Oh, we're going. Oh, shit, okay.
A CGP offshoot podcast where each month a few of us from the Common Geeking Program share the latest stories that we feel are the most important and impactful for geeks around the world. I'm your host, Colin Ketchen, and recapping the month of February 2019, I am joined by, let's do Jeff Keenan, because Jeff, if your internet dies, I want you to have gone first.
My name is Jeff Leavitt. And I don't say what I'm talking about yet, do I?
You can, but we can just keep rolling. It's a little more casual, this podcast.
Well, I'm gonna be talking nothing but the mans in this one. The mans that you poke, the Pokémans, if you will.
Yeah, hold on, let me zip back up real quick.
I'm talking about nothing but Colin's penis. There's lots of geek news in that sector of the geek world to go over.
This may be the longest running episode for obvious allegorical reasons.
Pokemon. Pokemans.
Indeed.
Who else am I joined by?
You're joined by me, Keenan, the voice of the people. Hey guys, how you doing?
Oh god, what people?
All right, and now we have about 1 hour to give you the news. We will take turns telling you our hottest headlines before we each vote for the top
of headlines.
The hottest of headlines. Get some oven mitts for these headlines because this newspaper is not safe for your fingies. We're gonna.
It's so not safe that we had to convert it into your ear holes instead of your fingers.
You need to put a condom over each headphone before you even think about listening to us, okay? It's not fucking
if
dirty.
You're gonna put a condom over each digit. Shouldn't you just wear gloves?
Nah. I don't think you don't practice safe podcasting, man. You gotta have.
What would that even sound like? Like, would there be some weird reverberating, echoey sounds? Like if you just put both your headphones in condoms?
Yeah, it would be. Yeah. No, Jeff, keep going. I like this.
So at the end of this, we're going to vote for what the top story of the month is, just to, round out this whole thing with our opinions. But it's going to be a couple free segments of conversation before we wrap. It's a lot more relaxed than our sister show, Common Geeking Program. And
more like
to
Mother.
Demonstrate how relaxed I am right now, I have a plate of 6 fresh, hot Pillsbury cookies straight out the toaster oven, and I'm going to chow down on these bad boys as we talk. How are you guys doing tonight?
I'm doing all right. I just had Popeyes for the first time in my entire life.
Oh, so you're going to fall asleep in 2 seconds?
Does it have that effect on people?
There is the itis is a real thing.
I just imagine if you ate a bunch of fried chicken, you're not going to be doing so hot.
I just had Popeyes. I didn't say I had a bunch of Popeyes. It was just 3-piece chicken tenders with some fries and a biscuit.
There we go.
Oh, you got a 3-piece tendy, bro?
Yeah, which incidentally was my nickname in high school.
You they call him 3-piece tenders. Don't mess with him.
No, not 3-piece tenders, fries, and a biscuit was my full
Yeah,
nickname.
they call him that because he's got 3 dicks and only 1 ball. Yeah. And we think he's French or something.
You'd call... I mean, I know they're more shaped like that, but we'd call the tenders the dick?
Yeah.
I feel like the tenders is more like a ball thing.
Nah, have you seen your dicks?
Chicken tenders
Tendies.
are pretty flat and elongated.
Okay, but I acknowledge that the actual shape of the food is more like that body part, but to call them tenders is clearly
that's not a description of the shape as much as it is of the consistency of the thing. And I would say, trying not to be too blue for all our listeners here, a man's penis is fairly tender as well.
I guess, but you more associate the testiculars with being
Jeff,
tender.
I just want to say, Jeff, you haven't seen this guy's 3 dicks, okay? So if you saw them, you'd be like, oh, I get it now. I can't describe
I thought
it to you.
it was me. I haven't seen my own dicks.
Yeah, that's what's really weird about this conversation.
Well, I mean, to take it in a different
direction, there's a lot of really weird things about
this
conversation.
I took it to understand that that the biscuit was saying Jeff got a badonk behind all that front action.
No, that's just the one. It's
biscuits
the one ball.
And gravy. Oh.
Oh my God, Jeff! I just edited 102 earlier this week.
God. Yeah.
And Pat accused you once again of poop noodle controversy.
Oh my God.
Given your reaction to that disgusting term. And I had to make it post credits.
That's okay. It's
3 minutes of you trying to like semantically divide your defense of your reaction to the word poop noodle is one of the favorite things I've heard. If anybody, 102 should have come out earlier today for you listeners. It's worth a gander. It's a fun episode.
I'll have to check that out.
Yeah,
I'm behind. I've been
bad.
listening to a lot of Adventure Zone, so that's been taking on my podcast choices.
Oh, speaking
I
of
noticed.
things to take up your podcasting, Keenan, I'm gonna need you to take a real quick listen to my brother and me episode, I believe 27. I'm gonna have to confirm that number for you.
Like just
got
27?
Did you go back?
It's got some.
Did you like go back and listen to all the backlog of Mabim Bam?
Yeah, I'm starting from the beginning, and I didn't.
I did not fuck with
I
that.
did not know how long back it went until Griffin in like episode 20 or something went, did Michael Jackson die this year or last year? And I was like, oh my god.
I don't know,
The dates
Jeff.
are on the thing. We listen right now. They're at like episode 440 something.
Yeah.
And if you say they come out weekly, a little quick math tells you you're not in this decade anymore, bud.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't do a little quick math, I just knew it was generally a long time ago. But Keenan, there's in episode 27, there's a conversation strictly relevant to our situation. Also, I'm gonna need this conversation completely struck from the record. If you want to just bleep something in this whole thing, because this could be some friendship ending shit if it gets out to some other people we know.
Okay.
The friends involved with this podcast are not gonna listen to this podcast, Jeff. You're safe.
Yeah, but I don't need that shit in the fucking backlog on the internet. You gotta bleep it.
No, I think I know what he's talking about, and we can't have evidence around
We
anyway.
can't have evidence.
Okay, well now I'm curious. Like I was about to jump right into that geek news, but this is far
No,
more
no,
breaking.
no.
Well,
like,
I
we
will tell
can't-
you if you promised, you
No,
unequivocally
after.
promised
We
to
can't-
strike it from the record.
No, we'll just do it.
I
We'll-
promise that this will not be aired, but your raw audio file is still going to be there.
See,
That's
that's,
tr-
my
like-
point. He's gonna keep it and just be like, "Oh,
that's
by the
true.
way."
Colin could blackmail us.
Exactly. I'm not about that. We'll talk about it
Now
after.
you understand why I've spent 2 years and hundreds of dollars in this project.
That's the whole point, to blackmail us.
Let's
We'll
just
tell
say-
you. We'll tell you
No,
afterwards. Once,
yeah, we'll
once
tell
the
you
recording's
after.
off. We'll tell you off the record. Me as
All right,
but
all right,
anyway.
listeners, tune in after the credits for whatever I'm going to bleep out. This will be fun. All right, so let's go into the news. Alrighty, so my name is Colin Ketchen, and I'm going to go first. And if we're talking about geek news
Oh, I forgot you
in the
also-
month of February 2019, well, as a gamer, I think there's one news story in gaming culture that kind of supersedes just about everything. And you guys might not agree because it's not totally your wheelhouse, but it has quickly become mine. I'm not talking about Jeff's Pokemans.
I swear to God, if it's fucking Sonic.
I'm not talking about Sonic for once.
Okay,
I'm not talking about Anthem.
I don't think one could really claim that Sonic really applies to everyone in the gaming world.
No, I just didn't want it to be Sonic. But I'm actually curious on
Well,
what
now I
this
know
is.
how you really feel. Well, it's not even Metro Exodus, which I've been thoroughly enjoying. I might talk about it at the end.
Oh, is
here.
that out already?
But yeah, but I only got like 10 minutes to talk about it. I'm talking about Apex Legends. So
yes.
I'm kind of glad that it's you two, because I think we might get some decent conversation, because you guys don't play a lot of online games.
I don't know shit about Apex. I just know it has something to do with Fortnite, in that it doesn't, but it's a competitor. That's all I know
Indeed
about
it is. So Apex Legends is a first-person shooter battle royale made by Respawn Entertainment. They're the guys that made Titanfall. Vince Zampella and his coworkers who got fired from Infinity Ward over the whole Call of Duty shit. They made their own studio. They made
What?
Titanfall, which is amazing.
Which,
this is like when Michael Jackson died sort of news. You might want to scroll back in your Mabim Bam feed to learn about that.
Oh, I thought you said they got fired off of Infinity War because of Call of Duty shit. And I was
Oh,
like,
no,
what
Infinity
the fuck
Ward.
does... Okay.
This is the first time, man, Call of Duty has become so unimportant that Infinity War has dominated our culture, and this is the first time I've seen confusion between the terms Infinity War and Infinity Ward, the creators of Call of Duty. Like, nice fall from grace, dickholes. No, you make good stuff. So, Apex Legends is made by these folks who have... The Titanfall games are very well received, but they haven't always sold as well as, EA, the utterly benevolent mother company of Respawn, would perhaps want it to perform. So they said, hey guys, could you make us some money? Thanks. And they said,
Thanks.
we'll try. So Apex Legends is a free-to-play battle royale. The genre of battle royale, for those of you who don't know what Fortnite is, more people play Fortnite than watch Netflix. So
Really?
maybe, 200 million
Really?
Fortnite monthly active users, 140 million Netflix subscribers.
Okay, but multiply
I know
that.
it doesn't account sharing and stuff like that.
No, that tracks because if you need to play Fortnite, you need to buy Fortnite. If you want to watch Netflix, you just gotta find someone else who
Yeah,
has
that's what
a
I'm
Netflix.
saying. So it's not
Fortnite's free,
people
bro.
who watch Netflix, it's people who are subscribed to Netflix.
Yeah,
People who
but
are subscribed
but
to
still,
Netflix.
that's
But
a fairly impressive number.
Right, but I'm saying that the people who watch Netflix is probably
You're right.
higher.
No, you're right.
I would like to appeal to the court that I may amend my statement before the release of this particular hearing. Thank you.
Done.
So ordered.
Here, yeah,
So-
make a you'll edit it.
I
down.
actually am holding a little hammer,
A little hammer. One.
and he's a
gross.
transformer.
Oh, of course. Just
I wouldn't have brought it up unless we just
you're
made a
throwing me
gavel
off my
joke.
juju, Jeff. You're throwing me off my juju with your Transformers.
All right, so tell us more about Apex. I've heard a lot about it, but I actually,
I don't love Fortnite, and it's not because of all the stereotypes or all the 12-year-old.
Or the entire culture.
I just it's not really a game that grabbed me, and there was like an account issue where my account didn't work, so I couldn't really play on cross-platform, so I stopped. Apex Legends, first of all, it's a first-person shooter set in the Titanfall universe, so it's
cool.
already something I enjoy. You don't have the giant robots, you don't have the free running, but you have the very smooth like gun. Well, there were like jetpacks and wall running and
Sure.
things like that.
oh,
and
there were
double jumps
giant
in
robots. The
Titanfall.
Titans are giant robots. So you,
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I understood that. I just thought that kind of the large part of the world premise of that universe was having the giant robots.
Yep. So there's a little bit of fiction introduced when you start playing the game, which is a cut scene of just like the Apex Legends are like it's a notoriety thing. Whereas the Titanfall campaigns, you play as soldiers, and as soldiers and pilots, you have all this extra equipment. The Apex Legends, it's like a mix between like Overwatch and PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds,
Mm-hmm.
where
Yeah, the
like yes,
mercenary
it is a
type.
battle royale. But it's like Overwatch in that you have like different players that kind of fall into different classes.
like champions.
Exactly, yeah. And so
Okay.
they're just called Legends, much like a lot of other free-to-play games. It pulls from that. And Titanfall has always pulled from the MOBA scene quite a bit, and I think that this is their take from MOBAs here, is you have 8 playable characters, 6 of which are free, and I assume we'll get more soon. And each one plays a little bit differently, and they're all voice acted really well. They've all got very different visual styles, so they're doing it right, the way that I would say like Overwatch and League of Legends generally do it right.
Mm-hmm.
The concept of the battle royale being you have a giant map, you have 100 people. In this game it's 60, and everybody jumps down onto the island from a dropship, and you just have to be the last one to survive as a ring of energy closes in around the map slowly, Hunger Games style, and last man standing wins. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. I've only won one game, but I've come in second plenty of times.
Out of how many? 2?
Second place. So the thing that I like about this game is the squad functionality, and I think PUBG does this to an extent, but in Fortnite you're generally going in solo. I know you can work together, but in this game you're always in a squad of 3, and there is one mechanic in this game as you're searching for weapons and upgrades and navigating the map. There's a mechanic in this game that works so well that I'm angry at all the other games I play for not having it.
What's
And
that?
it's so simple. It's a feature that makes sure you don't have to talk to anybody, which is my favorite thing.
Well, isn't
when
that
I'm with
just
strangers.
I
isn't
wish
that just-
real life had that feature.
I know, right? Well, real life does, because in real life, if someone asks you, "Hey, where do I go?" you can point your finger in their face like a confrontational douche,
And then they'll
there
be
is an
looking for
analog
State
that.
Street for the next 10 years.
happens?
Still going.
So the right shoulder button, so like the button above the right trigger on your controller if you're playing on console, is a ping mechanic. So wherever you're looking, it creates a waypoint, and your character will call out what it is. If you're pointing at a weapon, like say if you point at a longbow, and I'm playing as Gibraltar, the big, awesome, loud Samoa guy.
Gibraltar.
Hey, there's a longbow over here. And then all I have to do is push the button, and everyone on my team knows I'm pointing them to a good weapon. And whatever you point at, you will have a different audio cue for that. It shows up in the action feed.
Okay. I'm understanding what you're saying.
You can also it's very, very quick, and accurate to call out different things in the map. And for a map that's this big, where communication is that necessary, but you don't want to talk to anybody, I'm so blown away at the efficacy of this one-button feature. Jeff, how's that Sobe Life Water treat?
You're right there, buddy.
Had some ice in it that I was not expecting because it's been sitting in my car.
Jokes? That's some elemental damage if I've ever seen it.
So, Apex Legends, Battle Royale is still not my favorite genre. I think what I'm really liking about it, more than anything, aside from the ping system, is it's free. So and it's AAA, like it feels amazing to play.
Mm-hmm.
And if I have friends on Xbox that I want to play with, and we want to play something like besides Destiny, which is what I play the most, I don't have to be like, hey, does everybody want to agree to spend $60 in this weird marketing suicide pact?
Yeah.
It's just like, hey, here's a new thing we can play for free. It's good. Let's jump on it. It's allowed me to hang out with friends I haven't talked to in like a few months. It's been a go-to distraction for a lot of things, and every time I play Destiny now, I can't ping information to people in the game with me, and I'm frustrated that they are not going the way I want them to go. But Apex Legends, its success like surprised even me. I started playing like 3 days after it came out.
When did it come out again? It's pretty real recent, right?
It was the first week of February. Yeah.
Oh wow!
Like
I didn't realize it was that recent.
You know,
Jeez, that shit blew up.
It did. Within 1 week, it had hold on, I gotta look up this number because I don't want to say it wrong, but it's crazy.
Honestly, I could have sworn it came out a while ago.
No, that's how ubiquitous it's been. It's been so saturated.
But I could have sworn it was talked about and I saw stuff for it, but it turns out, Nah.
EA and Respawn did not give us a heads up. Like, they just dropped the game, no announcement, no nothing. Within 1 week, 25 million players. And this isn't like Fortnite and PUBG where it's on your phones and it's on your Switch. It's just PC, PS4, Xbox One. But this game has, I think it is the biggest gaming story of the last month just for its impact. Mm-hmm. But that's also like saying like Fortnite is the most important game of 2018, which Polygon dubiously claimed with good reason. It has a massive impact. It might not be important to everyone. But as someone who doesn't like Battle Royale, it changed my opinion of this genre. It got me into it, and I'm having a good time whenever I play it. Except I really am not very good as Bangalore, so that sucks.
The Bangalores.
Thanks, Keenan.
We all know exactly what you're talking about.
Well, the Bangalores are just these funny little tubes that you put dynamite in, basically.
Oh,
yeah, Bangalores are a real thing. Yeah.
From what?
Did you ever play Medal of Honor? Come on.
I'm sorry to say that I didn't. Anyway, I don't know if you guys if you have any questions or suppositions. I know it's not totally your wheelhouse, but I figured I'd explain to you what the deal with this good game is.
I've got one question. So, I mean, I know you said this was not the reason for your aversion to Fortnite, but Fortnite has a pretty infamous kind of fuckboy fan base of like 12-year-olds and toxic people.
Can you be a fuckboy and 12 years old? I don't know if that...
Yes.
I don't know, because I feel like...
Keenan, it sounds counterintuitive and illegal. I assure you it's both, and it's awful.
Yeah.
Just like 12-year-olds.
Or at least a wannabe fuckboy 12-year-old.
Yes.
Also,
Okay.
I said fuckboys and 12-year-olds. It could be both. But does Apex Legends also have like a fan base like that, or do you find it to be generally pretty...
A toxic community is what he's saying? Is it toxic?
Yeah.
So, I think it sidesteps a lot of the problems, again, by making the game so much more accessible without relying on communication.
Yeah, that's
because
fair.
You can ping, and because even the weapons are broken up pretty easily. Like the level of gear and the kind of gear is all color coded in ways that after like 2 or 3 matches, it's really easy to grasp. So there's a pretty low learning curve, and I think fewer crazy tactics like the building thing that create that sort of elitist attitude. And the fact that people aren't talking to each other makes it better. It really does.
Yeah.
It's
just a funny statement. I agree.
It makes a huge difference because I've only heard one match in like the dozens that have played where someone was like, "What the fuck are you doing, bro?" And I'm like, "I don't know. I'm sorry. I got shot." I think that counteracts it pretty well.
Yeah.
A lot of the Fortnite community is involved in Apex Legends because same genre, kind of makes sense. And how EA helped get it off the ground is I guess they paid a lot of influencers and streamers to like stream Apex early.
Okay, that's why. Okay.
So like there's definite overlap in the communities, but that toxicity hasn't really broken through. My engagement online and in the game around Apex Legends has been like thoroughly positive. Aside from like a couple griefers and assholes, but to be expected when you have 25 million players.
Makes sense.
Well, hey, that's my time.
I know the Mozambique is not liked. That's the most I know.
The Mozambique is a terrible 3-round clip handheld shotgun. I think all the shotguns in that game need to be buffed because like a close-up shot with an auto shotgun does 60 damage, but like half a clip from an SMG does way more than that, and it's just they're useless. Anyway, I'm gonna say that's probably my time. I'm a minute longer than I wanted to be. Oopsie. But that's going to be my time. I thought I could stretch 6 cookies over this hour. I was mistaken. I have no cookies, and it is now...
Well, I guess we got to end the episode early.
Yeah, I mean, it's over.
End it early.
Rule of cookies.
All right. Tell me about the news.
Jeff, tell me about Pokemon Yeet and Greet.
So yeah, we've got some new developments in Pokemon. None of them are like overly groundbreaking in terms of things that are happening, but they all just fucking happen because as of recording, today is Pokemon Day. Officially.
Pokemon Day, what is it, February 27th?
Yes.
When was that a thing? Is that a thing they just did now just to be like, oh, by the way, it's Pokemon Day, woo!
No, it's been a thing.
Who recognizes it?
People who play Pokemon?
Because last time I checked, I had to go to work today, so not a real holiday.
It's not a fucking national holiday, I'll tell you that.
Keenan, I actually didn't have to go to work today. My last name is Ketchen. There might be something to this.
Wow, you're right. Oh, okay, I see. I have to have a Pokemon theme. Anyway, so tell us about recent developments in the Pokeverse.
So we've had a couple developments. I think I'll kind of start with the least significant and work my way up. One of the things that's kind of fun is they just added this new feature in Pokemon Go, like about I want to say like a week or two ago, where so you know how like the game was like infamously AR to begin with, like augmented reality.
Mm-hmm. Was it?
Yeah. Like that was like the whole thing. Like, see
Pokemon
a Pokemon
Go.
standing.
I was thinking about Pokemon in general. I was like, I don't know, man.
So you remember the advanced AR technology Nintendo squeezed into the Game Boy Color in the mid-late 90s?
That was crazy, right?
You mean your house doesn't look like pixels?
No. Anyway,
so pretty soon into the game, people stopped doing that because instead of having to hold your phone up and like look around, you could
which destroys your battery as well.
Yeah, that as well. You could just turn the AR off, and you could just like catch Pokemon as they show up, and they won't like move around. You can do it as you're walking. But the game found a new way to incorporate AR into it, where there's this new feature where they like upgraded the photo taking system in the game, where you can take out your Pokemon that you have caught and like AR them into a room and then take photos with them. But the AR is like fucking crazy. Like you can do a fucking 360 around the Pokemon and they'll stay in the same place.
That's nice.
It's wild, and I started trying it out today, and it's also the way that you can catch Smeargle, which is a Pokemon that should have been out a while ago in this game.
Wait, Smeargle?
Yeah.
Does he have an evolution named Gorlum?
No, he doesn't have an evolution. He's got a tail that's a paintbrush. He's from a while ago.
Okay, so Smear, not okay. Yeah, I'm reading a new J.R.R. Tolkien book. I'm reading Unfinished Tales. Not new, it's from 1980, but new to me.
I was about to say, like, oh, wow, he's still making stuff. Good for him.
He actually did. Fall of Gondolin just came out like a year ago. Sorry.
Smeargle was not in the game for a while, and they added him in this way, so if you take a bunch of pictures, eventually he'll just fucking show up and photobomb one of them.
That's
really
funny
clever.
Way.
Yeah, it's cute. So that's kind of like a not a huge story. That's just like a fun new feature that was added to Pokemon Go.
I like that. Wait, was Smeargle a Pokemon introduced to Pokemon Go?
Smeargle was from Gen 2.
Okay,
the reason
never mind.
that he wasn't,
Gen 2?
he wasn't
in, that's around.
Yeah, he was not added in Pokemon Go with the rest of Gen 2 because he's got sort of like an irregular moveset that would have been hard to translate into the way that the game has the movesets work.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So what's your next piece of Pokemon?
What's the next ladder of Pokemon info?
Well, the other next thing is that the new trailer for Detective Pikachu came out.
Did you watch
yesterday?
Yep.
And yeah, I did watch it. And you're right.
Yeah.
There are. Keenan said yesterday that he was disappointed by the trailer because it had some things in it that seemed like they could be potentially like pretty big spoilers for the plot of the movie. And I sort of got that impression too when I watched it, but that kind of makes me think that there might be like more to what we think is going to be to the story.
I assume there's going to be more to it, but I still think that there's still stuff in the new trailer that I really would have liked to see just in the movie, you know? I would have liked having no knowledge of that and just be like, oh.
It gives me the impression that maybe that all that reveal stuff was probably going to be happening in like the opening acts of the movie.
But still.
And that would be like setting up the premise of like the whole conspiracy thing going on.
I'm cool with that, but I didn't know about that, and I would have liked to have like figured it out in.
Yeah.
So I feel like a lot of
as someone who doesn't know a lot about Pokemon, I have no clue what you're talking about. That trailer seemed pretty innocent.
Okay, well,
no, I mean just generally movie plot stuff. I assume what Keenan was talking about spoilers for people who don't want to watch the trailer.
Spoilers.
But like there's like some line of dialogue about how like the main character's dad was like presumed dead, but then Pikachu's got this fucking theory that he's actually like, you know.
Oh yeah, and then Pikachu says like three theories, and they're
it says
all
like a bunch of
contradictory and
theories.
bonkers. Yeah.
So
that was cute.
That is what you were talking about, right? Oh, what were you talking about?
was...
Mewtwo? How about Mewtwo? That was another big one too.
Mewtwo
came out of a parade balloon.
Yeah, that I think that was another one that I felt that like Mewtwo showed up. I think I probably would have wanted to leave Mewtwo being a surprise for the movie.
Like even if like you hinted at him early on, I still would have been like, oh, are we gonna do Mewtwo?
Yeah,
and then it would have been like,
just,
I'm not even
Mewtwo,
like a huge Pokemon guy.
But
so
Mewtwo's a pretty big deal.
Yeah, and
like,
I was
Mewtwo
just like,
is not showing up without
like,
him being plot significant.
Although maybe now the twist is Team Rocket, which I'm 100% behind.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't played the Detective Pikachu game, so I don't know.
Me either.
Because it doesn't really take place in the same sort of universe as the other Pokemon games, because it takes place in a kind of more like gritty, like pseudo more realistic universe. Like if the universe of Pokemon is like really fucking happy-go-lucky and wacky, and our universe is our universe, it's sort of like halfway in between. But so yeah, that was the other bit of news. And then the biggest bit of news is that today there was a Pokemon Direct released by Nintendo and Game Freak for the next generation of Pokemon games, which are coming out late 2019.
We're doing generation.
Really? Yep, Generation 8. The games are Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield, and they are set in a region that is modeled after the United Kingdom. And yeah, we got the reveal of the 3 new starter Pokemon. So the Pokemon that you pick at the beginning of the game.
What is it? Grookey?
Grookey.
The bunny. Sobble.
Sobble is the water type, and Scorbunny, I think it's what it's called.
Yeah, Score. I think
Scorbunny. Yeah, what's up?
Which one will evolve into a fighting type?
Well, yeah, a lot of people have been like, "Oh, they're gonna make another firefighting type," because that's like an infamous thing. I don't really think that they're gonna do that again, since they've like received such backlash for it. Because last generation they basically made a firefighting type, and then we're just like, except it's really a fire dark type. But like, let's be fucking real here. Incineroar is a firefighting type.
No, it's a question out of ignorance. How long ago did Sun and Moon come out? I feel like that was super recent.
Yeah, I mean they release a new Pokemon game every year or so.
I know that, but they do a lot of the remakes and stuff like that. Like we just got Let's Go.
So Sun and Moon, the original Sun and Moon came out, I believe it would be 3 years ago now, and then 2 years ago, Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon came out. And then last year, Pokemon, or this year, like 2018. So not 3 years ago from now, but like 2016 is when Sun and Moon, I think, came out. And then 2017 was Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. And then 2018 was Pokemon Let's Go and Let's Go Eevee and Let's Go Pikachu.
God, time, I lost it. I lost all my time.
That's not verified.
And my cookies.
That's how I assume it happened. I'm not going to look up those dates, but I'm pretty confident that that's about how it went.
No, that sounds about right. I just, because I'm so not connected to Pokemon, I just am like very ignorant of its development. Anyway, back to you, Keenan. I have little to contribute.
I was going to say that, okay, thank you for clearing that up, Jeff, because I shared a meme with you guys a little right before the podcast. It's like the Scottish meme.
Let the record state I did not view this meme.
Oh well, basically, are you aware of like
either.
the Scottish tweet meme?
Squattish?
No, I don't know if I am.
It's basically like it's I don't know. Okay, I have no idea if these are like real, but basically they're people reading Scottish tweets in like a heavy accent, and they're pretty hilarious, especially because like the words are like written in accent. So I didn't know anything about Sword and
Shield.
Yeet and Greet, but you know, I've just been rhyming. That's the only way I could do it. But I didn't know about Sun and Sword or anything about it. But now I saw this meme as they were like showing I don't know. Sword and Shield.
I wanted to say Sword and Moon, so it's
yeah. You know, it sounds better. You know. Sword and Shield, but I saw this meme and I was like, oh, that's gonna be the region, because there's this meme that's actually it's pretty funny. Colin, you should find all of these. Honestly, they're pretty. It's like hey, you want to fight? It's like, nah, just to pump shit in the woods.
I've been rediscovering my Canadian side because Pat talked about Letterkenny on a recent episode of CAP. So I've been digging through Letterkenny, and oh man, it really reminds me of home, doesn't it?
It's a really funny show.
It's a funny show. To be fair.
But yeah, so I mean, the Pokemon games, like, there hasn't been anything super groundbreaking released yet. It looks like exciting new stuff. I think that what my hope is for the game is, because when they said that they were they said that they split up the team to like one team developed like it was working on this game for the Switch and Pokemon Let's Go and Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, and then the other team was working on Sun and Moon and stuff.
Yeah.
And Sun and Moon had some kind of like babying down easy qualities to it. Or no, actually, wait a minute. Let me just fucking revert everything I just said. I'm like mixing several trains of thought right now. It's a mess.
Yeah, you are, because you've talked about Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon on the podcast.
Yeah.
And this doesn't line up with that.
So they released, the most recent game release was Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, and those games were like super dumbed down and easy. They like adopted a lot of things from Pokemon Go.
Yeah.
So
I thought that was the point of them.
Yeah, no, they were. It was the point of them. That's what I'm saying. But I'm hoping that because those games were released as the obligatory game to try to get like new younger people involved, that they're gonna be able to take a little bit more liberty with this game and add some more, you know, like legitimate difficulty to it. You know,
it looks as though like the implication was not necessarily open world, but a lot of open environments.
Yeah,
and a lot more ability to free roam in 3D. Like they're going.
Yeah, we'll see, because the map is basically like it's just like a huge line. It's kind of shaped like a sword.
Wow, really?
I'm sure it jumps around a little bit, but hopefully it doesn't. I mean, you know, the Pokemon games have always had more or less like a pretty singular path, but then you have to find your own way. But then,
you
like,
gotta go
recently,
up and down,
it's
and
just
stuff.
like you literally can't walk anywhere with someone being like, "Hey, you have to go here next. Hey, did I tell you have to go here next? You have to go here. You should use this type of Pokemon to fight it." And it's just like, fuck off.
So it is an open world. It's just filled with peer pressure,
like real life. You could go anywhere, but like, really, can you?
But you should get your degree.
Yeah, no,
here's a car payment.
Pretty good.
There's no cars in Pokemon.
Well, thank you, Jeff. That was actually, I didn't read into the Sword and Shield stuff. So this is good to know a little bit more about it. And with this, Keenan, you actually haven't even said to us off the mic what you're talking about today. Mr. Keenan Kodish, former High Sheriff, what would you like to discuss on this month's Common Briefing program?
I'm the once and future High Sheriff. But now I'm repping the people here, right? I'm the voice of the resistance. I am revolution incarnate.
What resistance?
You know,
who's listening
to everything.
Resistance
anyway.
To you? There's lots of that going around.
Yeah, basically, generally, there is always that sort of just friction.
Yeah. All right. So now this is a bit of one. So I'm going to be talking. I want to talk to you guys. I will be talking. I am talking about Dune, the 1965 novel, which
I don't know
is
if I call that recent.
Breaking news.
No. I mean, yes, it's breaking news now because
kidding,
now back in 2016, the rights were and TV rights for the film and for the TV and film rights for Doom were reacquired by Legendary Entertainment, right? And
I did see this.
All right, and they were talking about it for a while, and I thought they were going to go the TV route to kind of compete, like they were going to like auction it off to someone else and they would compete with Game of Thrones because there's a lot of similarities there. However,
isn't the original Doom the original Dune movie like not really acclaimed? Like it's kind of like iffy.
It's trippy
So hit me
and
up
it's long.
here. I'm a little bit ignorant, and I actually don't know a whole lot about Dune.
Okay. Dune is basically it was what many consider like it is the best-selling science fiction novel in history. That's the way it's most free. It won the Hugo Award.
I don't know, the Book of Revelations is pretty compelling.
Oh, God.
That's historical fiction, all right? That's pre...
I'm not kidding, though. I've read the Book of Revelations like 3 or 4 times.
It's trippy. I love it. It's
is
wonderful.
Riveting.
Like, there's a scroll. It's got like 8 seals on it. It's ridiculous.
It's
Sorry,
got
7.
7 seals.
Sorry, 7. I'm
7
sorry,
seals,
God.
7 horns, 7 bowls.
See, now
That's a lot of
that's
seals.
that's how it activates. I'm fucking I screw everyone.
Eating penguins all over the
basically,
place.
Jeff, it is about it's about this the first book anyway. It's a series of books, but Dune is really the first one, written by Frank Herbert. It basically follows this guy named Paul Atreides, who is the heir to House Atreides in this science fiction world, and eventually he has to go to a different planet, which is Arrakis, where the spice is. Spice is the most valuable substance in the universe. It increases life. It makes your mental powers go off the chart.
It makes your poops real stingy and hot.
It makes you have sex good. it literally does like everything. And it's like I said, it's the most powerful and expensive stuff in the universe. The Spacing Guild, which the people who pilot the ships, use it to fold space for travel.
Damn.
Yeah, no, it's crazy.
I didn't know spice was that powerful.
Well,
I've been missing out on so much.
Yeah, right?
They just have like a fresh salad pepper grinder every time they want to pop to Alpha Centauri.
Yeah, he eventually like goes there, and then there's their ancestral enemies, the Harkonnens, eventually, attack them. There's some betrayal. There's, drama. Eventually, he joins the native Fremen on the planet Arrakis, where, also known as Dune, where is the spice Melelin is made. And he eventually rises up to become emperor, take over the universe and stuff. However, it's very philosophical. There's a lot of cool sci-fi. There's Mentats, which are human computers. There's the Bene Gesserit, which are basically kind of very more super morally gray Jedi that are just we kind of want to find the Kwisatz Haderach. And the Kwisatz Haderach...
The Jedi are morally gray, but
no, not like these guys. These guys are we're trying to make the next superhuman. But that is their ultimate goal, to find the Kwisatz Haderach. And it's slowly implied that Paul is very much the Kwisatz Haderach, whose mind powers will be the great. But anyway... like I said, back in 2016, Legendary Entertainment acquired the film and movie TV rights. Then announced that they were going to go into the they're going to make a film about it. Now, what's really exciting about it that's been announced pretty much the last couple months is the cast list and who's getting involved. Dennis...
Is Patrick Stewart again?
No, unfortunately, Patrick Stewart will not be playing Gurney Halleck, the troubadour, unfortunatally. But Dennis or maybe it's Denise, I don't know. Dennis Villeneuve, I think. I don't know. He's French-Canadian.
Villeneuve, the guy who did
the new Blade Runner. The new Blade Runner. He is
that was a good-ass movie.
He's directing the movies.
Good ass.
They will be split into 2 movies, according to Frank Herbert's children.
And then when Peter Jackson runs out of money, they're going to announce it's 3 movies.
Exactly, that's going to be about taking halfway through the first book, and then the second will be, let's split it evenly, hopefully. So anyway, the cast list is getting crazy. I don't know this actor, but he's playing Paul. His name is Timothy Chalamet.
I thought that you were going to leave it at he's playing Paul and move on. I don't know who Timothy Chalamet either
Apparently,
is.
I'm going to fucking Google him.
He's a very, I'm looking at him. He's a very, known. He's nominated for the Academy Award for Best Actor for Call Me by Your Name.
It's Colin.
Oh, that guy.
He was Interstellar.
Wait, he was in Interstellar. Who did he play in Interstellar? I love that movie.
He doesn't look familiar at all to me.
Whoa, it's not even. What the fuck is it? He played young Tom Cooper. I didn't see that one.
Yep. Okay. No, that makes sense.
He played
Wow,
Kyle
yeah.
in Lady Bird, if that means anything to anybody.
I haven't seen that one either.
Like I said, I don't
Should.
really know him, but everyone else, I'm sure you guys will know. Well, at least most of them, you know. Rebecca Ferguson, who, you know, is a Swedish actress. She's got a bunch of really cool stuff. Will be playing the
she
Lady
played?
Jessica.
What has she played?
Yeah, give me a second to really. Yeah, she was she played Jenny in The Greatest Showman. She was Ilsa in the last two Mission Impossible movies. She was
Not
in
doing much for me.
Only two I haven't seen.
She was in they were actually pretty good. Well, I mean, Fallout was better than Rogue Nation, but Rogue Nation had its own like stuff.
Anyway,
she was in Florence
the
Lockett
last 20
Jenkins.
minutes of Fallout about 10 times.
And yeah, good. She was also in Girl on a Train. But anyway,
I know who she is. All right.
Wait, she's here now?
She will be playing Lady Jessica.
What was the last one you said?
Girl on a Train. But anyway, so otherwise, David Bautista will be playing Rabin, the Beast, who's like this, you know,
snazzy.
The meathead.
Very snazzy.
Yeah, of the evil
Drax,
guy,
right?
Yeah, Drax.
Yes.
Okay.
Stellan Skarsgård will be playing the Baron Harkonnen, which is very exciting. Who is sort of the evil ancient enemy of rival house, head of the rival house.
Yeah, that's
hopefully you know Stellan. He was the guy in Avengers, girl with the dragon tattoo. Bootstrap Bill.
Yeah, you do. He was the old European guy, the professor that worked with Thor. He was in Thor's movies and in the Avengers. Okay. Yeah,
sure.
Yeah. No,
he's in
great.
Mamma Mia.
Yes. That's not what I would put as his top work, but you know, go ahead. You know, I was going for more. You know,
he's one of the dads.
Yes, definitely. That is the epitome of his work. Anyway, he'll be playing like I said, he'll play.
Right. We've spent about 3.5 minutes on CGP reads IMDb.
Yeah, Charlotte Rampling.
I'm enjoying it.
Who I believe was in Babylon AD. Will be playing. She's like
you're really just revealing all the things I haven't seen.
Oh, okay, fine, whatever. Anyway, she'll be playing the Reverend Mother, who's like the leader of the Betty Jesuit Wits. Oscar
Jeff,
Isaac.
This is great. He's picking out all the topics for like the next 20 episodes of CGP.
Oscar Isaac will be playing Duke Leto, Paul's father.
I know him.
The doomed Duke Leto, unfortunately, who I love in the book. He's like such a great dad. He's such a great dude. But like he's flawed in the way that he couldn't believe that like his enemies could like hate like someone who hates his enemies as much as he does would betray him. Like he thought like the whole the enemy of my enemy is my friend kind of a thing. But like
the friend of my friend is my enemy. You can only have one. Choose.
Hey Keenan, have you met Jeff? I fucking hate Jeff.
Zendaya will be playing Chanti, who is a one of the native girls that Paul eventually falls in love with. Javier Bardem will be playing Stilgar, tribal leader. Josh Brolin will be playing Gurney Halleck, who is like this old kind of crusty troubadour who works in the House Atreides.
He's playing Patrick Stewart has been replaced.
Yeah. Yep.
By
Jason Momoa, who's recently got on board as Duncan Idaho.
Sorry, Keenan, I'm gonna zone out as I re-envision all of Star Trek: The Next Generation with this casting right now.
Basically. As Duncan Idaho, and Duncan Idaho is a really cool character. He's basically like they go down to
Jason Momoa plays Data.
Yes.
Which is weird. He doesn't have emotions, but he's always doing pranks.
Yeah, that does sound like a Data thing to do. That sounds like a Data episode. You can't tell me that's not true. You know?
I would love that episode.
Like a bunch of really bad, not funny
Data
jokes.
has he reprograms himself to look like Jason Momoa.
But yeah, Duncan Idaho's a really cool character because Duncan Idaho is basically like one of the greatest swordsmen in the galaxy. And when they go down to the planet Dune, Arrakis, the native Fremen are like these badasses because they're really good at like fucking people up. And one of the reasons like House Atreides gets them on their side so quickly is because they send Duncan Idaho there, and they're like, "Yo, Duncan Idaho, no, he's about that smoke. I like him. You guys must be chill." Mm-hmm. It's great.
So suffice it to say, with this recap of the story, which I was thinking of reading Dune this year, but I don't know. We'll see.
I haven't said anything cool.
You've piqued my interest in the film.
I don't know. This cast sounds pretty stellar to me.
No, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is like this sounds good. This sounds like something I want to watch.
The most recent one I heard about, who is this, I just heard about this when I like Googled the cast again just to make sure the kids. David Dastmalchian, I think that's Dastmalchian. Ant-Man. He's the one of the like the criminals who like talks like this. You know, the one like Baba Yaga.
Oh,
that
yeah,
guy.
yeah.
Oh,
You know,
Oh, yeah, he was also in
Um,
Dark Knight as the guy wearing hockey pads.
Yeah.
No,
Yes.
no.
Yeah, he's the schizophrenic guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the schizophrenic. I know. When you said
He
I'm not
wasn't
wearing hockey pads,
he
I
wasn't
thought
the
he
guy
was like,
wearing hockey
no.
pads. He
That
was
guy was
one
very
of the
different.
criminals.
Okay.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. No, yeah, you're right. Oh, yeah, he's the guy that Batman interrogated in
Yeah, he's actually
that Harvey.
he's
Yeah,
actually a character
okay,
that
I
I'm,
get
I'm
you.
really I was excited. I'm a little disappointed by the casting, but I think he'll do a good job. Of Peter Devers.
So when is this movie duology coming out?
220 will be November 2020. When the Warner Brothers will distribute the.
That's
Wow,
real
they
recent.
they gotta be starting shooting like real
The
fucking soon.
they
Then.
said that they're going to be starting in the second quarter of 2019.
Okay.
In Budapest,
Yeah.
Jordan, which I think
That's a
are
couple
going
months.
to be
We're
really
getting there.
cool imagery right there.
Mm.
But yeah, no, this is for me, this is a very exciting project because the original movie kind of took out a bunch of the really cool stuff, and I'm actually really excited to see who's going to play Fade. Fade hardcore. Well, he's eventually, Fade Rathu Rabin, who is like the he's like the parallel to Paul. He's like the evil version of him, and he's a savage. I love that dude. He was actually played by
Going to be Jason
Sting.
Momoa.
Yeah, he was played by Sting in the original movie, and like they didn't
Oh,
focus on
really?
him. Yeah, they didn't focus on him at all. There were a bunch of really cool chapters in the book that were like explicitly about the Harkonnens and like their whole dynamic. And in my opinion, are some of the coolest ones because they're just kind of like bad people, but like they're very interesting characters to like look at. They're good villains, and I'm very excited for this because the original movie got cut that out entirely, and it became really trippy and surreal, and in my opinion, not a very good movie. And it was very long, and they glossed over all the parts I would have liked to focus on, and took a lot of time with all the parts that I was like, I feel like we could have, moved along with that pretty easily.
Well, I bet you the film's producers feel the same way, and that's probably why they're busting it out into two
That's why
separate movies.
How do you say his name? This Blade Runner guy?
Dennis Villeneuve, I think.
Well, yeah, I really liked
Villeneuve,
2049, so hopefully he can take that sort of direction over. And the fact that it's being split into two movies is very good, and I think I know exactly like the perfect spot to put it. I'm not going to say anything, but like I have a pretty good idea where it'll end. But this also like for me, this is like this was huge. I mean, like a lot of people. My father read Dune, and actually I read it a couple of years ago. At his urging, and I actually found out like a lot of the lines in it. I realized my father had been quoting to me like all my life.
Yeah,
and like
I just showed one of my friends Hot Fuzz, and I am about to just fall apart in their eyes.
Yeah, right. But I was like, Dad, have you been quoting like, are you just doing Duke Leto? And I was like, just absorbing it. And for me, like I said, it just kind of like took like like I felt I knew my father better after like reading
That's
it.
very cool, Keenan. All right,
yeah.
thank you, Keenan.
But like I said, very cool stuff.
All right, before we move into the rating section where we pick our top story, I got a new water bottle a week ago, and it has a straw in it, but when you take the straw out, listen to this. It's fucking wild.
Oh. Colin just turned into a dolphin right before our eyes.
It looks...
That wasn't just the noise of the water bottle. He put it in his mouth, and he literally transformed into a dolphin.
I became a swearing SpongeBob character.
With a blowhole and
That was
everything.
actually our motion sensors going off, and like we don't know what it is, but we're like, what is that? And we're trying to fine tune it, but we just keep hearing that. We're like, I don't know, but it sounds bad. And then something will grab one of us and like pull us out of the room, and we'll be like, no, Jeffrey. Sorry, Jeff, you're FTD.
It's okay.
All right.
Yeah, that's first to die.
So I want us to vote on top story. So we don't vote for the representative. We vote for the story we think we like the most. There's only 5 because Jeff, you had 3 Pokemon stories. Keenan and I each had the one big one. I'd encourage you to not vote for your own, though I guess I won't stop you from doing it. And I have a tiebreaker rule in effect, which we didn't have to use last time. But with 3 of us, who knows? It's a possibility. Now, I, Colin Ketchen, am going to cast my vote for top story, and it may actually surprise you guys, because I'm voting for Sword and Shield. I actually think I'm most interested in the development of Pokemon as a Switch first franchise.
Yeah.
What this means for the Nintendo 3DS, which we didn't really have the time to get into.
Well, that's pretty much gone. Like,
yeah,
Let's
even
Go
though there's
Pikachu
still...
and Eevee were also on the Switch, so they just move on from console to console every once in a while.
Yeah, the Dune thing honestly does interest me. I'd heard musings of it, but didn't know the details. If I read the book this year, I will probably, obviously, be more invested. But for now, even though I don't play Pokemon, it definitely has an impact on a lot of things and people I care about. And I think it's good for me to keep up with that. Yes, Keenan, I know that sounded more serious than it needed to
it's
be.
like
Thanks for mocking my vulnerability.
No. It's not. No, it's like that's very cool. Just the word impact made it sound like there could be a negative impact. Like it could be like, oh, I'm sorry.
My last name is Ketchen.
There's
I know,
of negative impacts.
There are
still,
a lot of negative impacts of this franchise upon
Yeah, but you're
me
not going to be like,
personally.
oh, Colin, you're not going to get a phone call one day. It's going to be, Colin, it's me, Denise. I don't know your friends. You know, and they'll be like, oh, what happened, Denise? And they're like, oh, well, you know, Bob, he's in a coma. Why? Because Pokemon Sun and Moon was delayed, and, like, the graphics were kind of shit when it came out anyway. Like, and they'll be like, oh, no, Pokemon, you know, Sword and Shield.
My nephew's been arrested because he tried to mimic Pokemon and accidentally set up an illegal dogfighting ring. Please help.
Call PETA.
All right, so I give my vote to Sword and Shield. Jeff, what would you say of the stories you've heard is the one that interests you the most?
Well, I mean, the honest answer is Pokemon stories, but in the interest of not voting for my own, I'm not inherently interested in Dune. But that cast list sounds pretty banger, and I'm always up for a good sci-fi time and a new reimagining of something that I haven't gotten into. So I think that's where my vote's going, is
like
to...
I said, Jeff, I think you will enjoy... I wouldn't recommend you read the book, Jeff, just because...
Yeah, I don't read.
I know you. And also the book's very...
Jeff, I can read it to
wordy.
you on FaceTime.
Like, they got like, you know, it uses weird words, and like it gets trippy at some point, but if you like Game of Thrones, which you do...
I do.
Cool. You'll like, you know, Dune, because it's basically like the way I like introduce people to it is like it's like science fiction Game of Thrones.
All right.
Where there's competing houses. There's a lot of overlap.
Well,
yeah, I'm pretty down.
Hey, Keenan, then, if you had to take a vote for top story here, what's of the 3 Pokemon stories, or the Apex Legends story? What do you think has your attention the most? What do you think is the top story in geek news for February 2019?
I mean, once again, I feel like it's Dune, but in interest of
Well,
fairness,
yes.
no, I would have to say hands down Apex Legends, because I don't see, like Jeff knows the audience, and I just don't care about Pokemon, just because like it's very interesting. Like I like that other people like it. I like hearing them talk about it, but mostly I just know enough to like troll people about it.
Yeah.
Like, well, the Fett's the best.
Every time there's fucking Pokemon news, I'm just like, oh god, gotta avoid Keenan for a couple days.
All right.
Hey, look, Wobbuffet!
All right, well, hey, episode 2 of the Common Briefing Program, we have a tie. Now, here's the tie-breaking mechanism I have in place. If you think it's dumb, whatever. We're going to try it anyway. I'll change it next time. So, the tie-breaking mechanism that I have is, well, we have 3 stories, Sword and
Aren't
Shield.
there going to be frequently ties if people are bringing multiple stories and there's only 3 people voting?
I mean, I have ways. I have other contingencies.
Well,
of
I think
defaulting.
Jeff should win
I thought
then.
Keenan was gonna vote on Detective Pikachu, and then I was gonna like give it to you because you got 2 votes. But anyway, so
wait, that's right. That was one of the stories.
would you like to
yeah.
amend your statement before the ending of these proceedings?
I will amend my statement, but also I was going to say that we should probably give it to Jeff anyway, because me and him wanted to vote for our
story. We're not
because
doing.
we both wanted to vote for our
uh,
own, and you were the only one who really like initially made a jump to a different. But I would say, yeah, the Detective Pikachu movie is legitimately interesting.
All right, fair enough. Then Jeffrey, you definitely win the top story award. I'm going to say that it will apply to, well, Jeff, I'm going to let you decide this. Which do you think is more important, Detective Pikachu or Pokemon Sword and Shield?
I think that unequivocally, Detective Pikachu is more important because this is going to be a live-action movie coming to the Pokemon universe, and there is, you know, Sword and Shield is exciting because it's a new Pokemon game. There'll be no Pokemon, but it's, as of right now, what we know, it's the next iteration of the Pokemon games, and that's pretty much it. So
cool.
I think that, like, that Detective Pikachu holds some potential to be really exciting, and so I'm gonna throw it onto that one.
All right, fantastic. Then you heard it here, as decided by us three, and not with a lot of concrete unanimity.
Yeah.
Detective Pikachu.
This is the biggest geek news. Was the second trailer of the Detective Pikachu movie. February has been a dull month.
Jeffrey Leavitt, we are giving you the Lois Lane Award for journalism.
All right, that
to be
about
fair,
wraps
I
it
think
up.
that I think that probably, like, I'm most interested in Dune because I don't care about Apex Legends, but Apex Legends is probably the bigger story of things that have significantly happened.
Like I said, but I said that at the beginning too, that like it's the biggest in its scale, but I don't know the impact it's having on people outside of that niche.
Well,
which,
I've
granted,
been seeing memes
it's
about,
a big niche.
I haven't been seeing Apex Legends.
So it's not a
memes.
niche. Yeah.
I have been seeing Dune casting memes. It's so funny. No. They're just like, hey, you. Yes, you reading this. You've just been cast in Dune. Did you hear it?
See, I haven't seen any of that. I have been seeing a lot of memes about, the fucking, like, new things in the Detective Pikachu trailer. So
I've been seeing a lot of those.
Is just,
you know what, Jeff? I think you might be right. Detective Pikachu, I am comfortable giving this the top story award for February 2019. That about wraps it up. Thank you for listening to the Common Briefing Program. I am your host, Colin Ketchen. You can find me at SonicColinK, SONICOLINK, on like Twitter and Facebook and Xbox and all sorts of things. I have been joined by...
I've been Jeff and will continue to be, probably. You can find me on Instagram at Things I Wish Existed, and there's a dot between each of those words. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I've got a YouTube and a Facebook that are just my name, Jeff Leavitt, but nothing super crazy happens on there. Yeah.
And I've also been joined by...
sorry, real quick. Jeff, I love how you're like, I will continue to be Jeff, as if like you could step down for being Jeff. You know?
Yeah, probably for at least one more season, and then I'll hand the title on to someone
My
else.
fellow Americans, I regret to inform you that I can no longer fulfill my duties of being Jeff. And now the Vice Jeff will be sworn in as Jeff. Anyway.
So I've been joined this month by Jeff and Vice Jeff. Vice Jeff, how can people find you?
Hey, it's me. It's Keenan. It's Codish. It's Keenan Codish.
God, I did not pick Keenan as my Vice Jeff.
No, he got elected, bitch.
That's right. If anything, Jeff is Vice Keenan.
That's not how Vices work.
That used to be.
Listen, yeah, that is. Anyway, it is used to be. But anyway, the point is you can find me where the truth is. You can find me in the field. You can find me doing the righteous work that I know is out there. So come find me.
So, Common Briefing programs come out the first Friday of every month where we recap geek news from the previous month. Right now, we're obviously still in the same feed as Common Geeking Program. As we branch out, we've got a couple other shows currently actually in like recording and editing, which is pretty cool. We're coming out with some new stuff very soon. But for now, you can obviously check us out, commongeekingprogram.com. We'll make sure it's all there. And Facebook and Twitter at Geeking Program. We'll try to put stuff there to keep you engaged. And regular episodes of CGP every other Friday. So 2 weeks from today, you can hear that, which should be, I think, March 15th. That'll be your next episode of CGP, episode 103. Yeah, you know me. Anyway, thanks for listening, subscribing, sharing,
Isn't that
everything.
the one that came out today? No, you're right. Sorry.
And we'll talk to you next month. Bye-bye, y'all.
Bye.
All right, Jeff, what's the thing I can't say?
Oh, wait, give me a second.
Oh, well, I'm going to stop my fucking recording. That's for sure. And so are you.
No, I want to bleep that.
I want to bleep that.
Echo. Jesus. Wait, hold on. I'm going to stop my recording for this.
The Common Briefing Program is hosted by me, Colin Ketchen, and I was joined this episode by Jeff Leavitt and Keenan Codish. This episode is sponsored by How Loud My Cat Is Purring. I'm not sure if you can hear it through the microphone, but it is warming my heart. The podcast is created by Patrick Brehm, Colin Ketchen, and Jeff Leavitt, and it's produced and edited by me, with original music also by me. If you want to know more about us and all our different works, you can head to commongeekingprogram.com. We have a new episode of CBP the first Friday of each month, and we have the Common Geeking Program every other Friday in the same feed. Stay in touch, stay tuned, and thank you for listening to this. I know I said that I would have all that super secret stuff as post credits. Jeff actually did make sure that we didn't have it recorded. So, despite all the funny nouns and things I would like to throw out now, I have been robbed from the great comedy I wanted to provide you. My sincerest of apologies. Let me go. Let me go fix this friendship.